Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the final word. Hopefully. Because I don't really want to be talking about this whatsoever. But yeah, Everton 0. Sheffield United 1 in... I don't know. Where does this rank in? Low moments? It's just...
For the season, comfortably the worst.
Yeah.
Without a shadow.
Yeah.
Be honest, when they showed Goodison before the game.
Oh yeah, as soon as I seen it.
We all said he scored.
As soon as I seen it.
Everybody knew. Every Evertonian knew the kid was scoring. Every Evertonian.
Yeah.
And 7 minutes we done it. What we needed to do.
Yeah.
Which was give him his dream start.
They probably never score again.
No. To be fair, he ran around. But and the other thing as well with it is when it went 1-0, I kind of knew it was over. And that was the most depressing thing about the whole game for me, that I had no faith we'd come back one little bit. But awful. They should be ashamed of themselves today, every single one of them, and the management team. But
everyone, top to bottom, at the football club should be ashamed of that and the home record this season.
I was going to say, let me just clarify that for any Sheffield United fans.
Oh, they were great.
That's not a pop at Sheffield United. I mean for the home form, because another performance, one after the other at home, without being able to mix it up. So it's a different scenario for a home game. That's what they should be ashamed of.
They should be ashamed that they couldn't beat Sheffield United as well, though. They should be. Team that have only picked up points in 2 away games, 1 win, 1 draw.
Wasn't that their only clean sheet they've had away as well?
Old Trafford.
But he won at Old Trafford, he been 2-1 at Old Trafford.
Yeah, 2-1, I think it was, yeah.
Or it was Ramsdale's if he wasn't in goal at all. It was just the only clean sheet
it was embarrassing, and yesterday actually just summed up the difference between the two Merseyside football clubs. It really did. It summed it up for me. Liverpool needed to get a win for the Champions League to get them to keep them in contention with the Champions League. Go a goal behind away from home against another team who's relegated, score, and then in the 95th minute or whatever it is, the goalie scores. And yet we go behind.
Went up at 1-1. Went for a call.
Yeah. Because they had to win. Because they had to win. You know, it's 1-1. No thought of that point wasn't good enough. They had to win the game. A point wasn't good enough. Our game at home against the team who've been relegated, 7 minutes in, you've got 83 minutes to score 2 goals, and you can barely muster a chance against them. Certainly in the second half, we barely mustered a chance. I know we had a few in the first half, but it's a disgrace. It's everyone at the club. Everyone is responsible for it. The players on the pitch, the manager, the coaches, Marcel Brands, the people above him. Everyone is responsible. You can't pin it on one person. It's a collective. It's a collective circle of shite at Everton. Because it's too easy to just pin it on one. You know, the players, yeah. But the players, I've been saying it all season. The players are crap. The squad's crap. When I looked at the bench yesterday, I was just like, I had people before the game telling me who shouldn't be in the team, and I was like, okay, tell me who should be in the team then. It's like, because that's your bench. We didn't even have Josh King on the bench. That's what's hilarious. Yeah. You know, can our players not play with little niggles? Can they not be strapped up and put on the bench? You know, and run through brick walls for us. They're all so precious.
Why would he want to, though? He knows he's probably not staying. Why would he risk it?
No, I know. But none of them know. Every week there's a different one who's got a little problem. Well, can't they? Is that what we've got then?
Must be UFC training.
Yeah, if we got players that every week only have little knocks so they can't play, sorry, but other clubs will play them. The team is just not fit for purpose. It's horrendous. It's not even a team. I watch them struggle to put 3-4 passes together. I watch us actually put a lot of passes together and not get out of our half.
We were laughing last night. We must have made 30 passes and we weren't at the halfway.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous.
We are honestly one of the worst teams to watch in the Premier League. And not even messing, that's not even an overreaction. We're horrendous. And I know there's teams out there who are lower than us.
We're better away. We're much better away.
It's just...
When teams give us the ball and go on, we don't know what to do with it.
it's honestly, that game just.
What did you think of the starting lineup?
I wasn't bothered by it. I know other people are. I know other people have been bothered by it, but see, it's not that I actually picked the team for my starting 11 that had Seamus Coleman playing right back, and I had King in the team playing as a proper and Richarlison playing left, King playing on the right, and James Rodriguez and Decore and Allen as a 3, and going to a 4-3-3, saying to Seamus and to Dean to get as high as they can, and leave sort of Allen and the 2 centre backs in a triangle. Yeah.
But obviously King wasn't fit. And then who'd you bring in? Then who's going to be that player? Maybe James Rodriguez could have gone over. The team would have had Tom Davis in midfield, which would have allowed Decore and Allen to go on, and I would have had Hammers off the right, coming in. It's fine playing, you're right, he's okay in the 10. Well, he's very good in the 10, but the problem was, he didn't offer any width anyway. And Richarlison, oh my God, I don't know what's wrong with him. I don't know what's wrong with him. Him and Dom aren't a partnership. No. Not in any world are they a partnership. They're both individual. They don't link up. There's no chemistry there between them. I don't know why. When last season, when they were a 2 in a 4-4-2, they looked to have a great little partnership. And
there was a bit of hunger there, wasn't there?
Yeah.
There was definitely hunger there.
I put a tweet out last night late because I couldn't sleep. Because it's that thing where you mull out. Like at the end of the game, I was just like, well, at least that's Europe gone. You can forget about it now. And it's like, what is this season? But it was like stewing on it, because you do. Because it was just so disappointing. And I know it shouldn't matter, but the manner in which they won as well, just kind of compounded the misery. And I just come to the conclusion that either don't care or they're not good enough. For me, they're the only two things they are.
Couldn't it be?
And I've had both.
Couldn't it be both?
Someone said both,
couldn't
right?
It be both?
And it could be both. It could be both, right? It could quite easily be both. But a lot of people kind of voted on it. Like, where's the thing? I just want to see how many people voted on it. So over 4,000 in 12 hours, which is quite a good sample size. 56% went with not good enough, and 44. So people are like, well, if I've got to choose one, it's split between the two. Yeah. A lot of people said both, and you're probably right, it probably is both. But for me, because I've watched Everton for a lot of years, and I've seen some god-awful Everton sides. And I've seen Everton sides with half the talent this team has got technically was fight double 10 times harder than what these do, and have won games of football. And Carlo Ancelotti, I don't want him sacked. I don't want it, but Carlo Ancelotti is not beyond criticism for this.
Not at all.
Because I'd accept it if it was like hit and miss. You'd go, well, listen, it's one of them seasons. But we've won one home game since December. It's May. It's May. We've won one home game since October, Ped. Since October, we've won 3 games at home. It's May,
and two of those games have fans there,
and came in a week of each other.
2 of them have fans there.
So I know we've been fabulous away, and we haven't played great football, but results-wise, we've been excellent.
Just on the Carlo thing at the moment, I've seen a lot of people criticising him, and criticism then becomes get rid of him, and he's a dinosaur and this kind of thing. See. The way I look at it is, and people can either agree or disagree, is I honestly don't think we'd have just more than 40 points if we didn't have Carlo Ancelotti this season, because the away form and the way he set us up away from home to win points is the reason why we were competing for Europe until yesterday, as far as I'm concerned. People might have different opinions. In December, when he moved 4 centre-backs in, I think he realised that was going to be the way we get points. We're not good enough. I remember when we went to Fulham, and like after the game, we were sitting here criticising them. I know we'd won, and people were like, what are you having a go with them for? They've just won, haven't they? And we were like, did you not watch the game? Did you not see how pathetic we were in the second half, and how Fulham really should have got something out of that game, because defensively we were all over the place. The manager made the point that made a decision there. If I sort the defence out, then I'll win points this season. And what it has done, he's 1 point away from home. And those points, what is it? It's a 37 points away from home he's got us this season. 37 points. Right. That's for Everton. And I know empty stadiums, but that's incredible for Everton. But that kind of way of playing just has... Because I know a lot of people say, what did he do in training? Well, it's clear they work on defensive shape in training. But they don't work on clearly don't work on any kind of attack and play. It's all on set pieces and crosses and individual bits of moments, and that should have been worked on. I think this team in the hands, and this is where I think Marco Silva actually comes into it in a little bit, is this team in the hands of someone who's like a young up-and-coming coach who's got ideas, not above his station, but aspirations of how he wants to pick a team and play. Couldn't do it with this team. This team is just not good enough, and I think that's where, in a way, where Marco. And I know there's 3 or 4 that are wearing up Marco Silva, but that's where Marco Silva actually fell down, is because he was, and that's where I think if we give the team to somebody else, they'd fall down because they'd come in with all these fresh ideas of how they wanted to play, and the players are just not good enough, and that's like I think it needs an experienced head to understand that a little bit, but the home performances are just a disgrace, and he has to take criticism for the fact that it's not just one game, it's nearly every single game at home since the beginning of December.
9 home defeats.
Well, with the wins as well. Against Arsenal we played, against Arsenal and Chelsea we played in a more compactly, that style of play. We've won away games. So he's got it, but you've got to always remember as well, in the away games, likes of Leicester, the likes of Liverpool, perfectly executed game plans that have got us points away from some of the best teams in the league, which is the most frustrating thing, is we've beaten nearly every single one of the top sides.
Beaten everyone above us, bar City and Chelsea. Drew United. Yeah. But we won at Liverpool, West Ham, Tottenham, Arsenal, Leicester, Leeds, who were right by us. We drew with Villa. The away form, we only lost 3 away games all season. Even if City beat us, we'll have ended with 4 away defeats, which is incredible.
And I know that
for us.
I know that the way we play away from home isn't amazing. And I think that clouds the way people look at it. But in a lot of those games, the game plans have been amazing. And I know people go, if it wasn't Carlo, but if it was like Simeone and he executed a game plan like that, people would be like, that's amazing. That's amazing. So the away form is just, it's there, and we've done it. I know we've rolled our luck, but the home form is just, the home form really shows to me that in terms of footballers as a group, they're just not a team, and collective, creativity is just, because it's goals, isn't it? When you look at Ned, let's just look at the home games. So these are Everton results we've had with more possession, and you look at the goals that we scored. It's apart from the West Brom game, I know we got 2 against Tottenham, but look how many goals we scored.
The number on the right is the percentage. So we had 71% against West Brom.
They had 10 men.
5-2. 60% West Ham we lost. 54 against United we lost. 60 against Newcastle we lost. Burnley 65 we lost. 52 against Spurs, and obviously 62 yesterday. But we scored
4 goals apart from the West Brom game. 4 goals, and that's
when we've won the possession.
When we've won the possession. 4, and if you take the games we've lost, all the games we've lost recently, there's about 2 goals between them.
Yeah, away from home, when we've had more possession as well, is Crystal Palace. We won the game 2-1, lost at Newcastle, won at West Brom, drew at Burnley, and won at Sheffield United. But it's still, again, the goals though, 3, 4, 5, 6 goals in the away game. But with the goals, because if you take Dominic Calvert-Lewin goals out of it, Richarlison's got 6, James has got 6, Gylfi's got 5, I think, and a couple of penalties. That's it. You know, Yerry Mina, a couple, Michael Keane had a couple early on. They've stopped scoring. Andy said to me a couple of months ago, the Piv, he was doing some data stuff and he just messaged me and said, we're unbelievably efficient. He said, my worry for the last 10 games is if that efficiency dries up. He said, there's no goals anywhere else. And I was like, I know, yeah, but we've done it all season. Why would it dry up? But it has dried up.
Well, it's dried up probably more than anything because of fatigue.
But don't you think when you're like looking, don't you look at like Richarlison? I was saying to you a few times, if he just has a decent end, we'll get into Europe. What's that, 8 or 9 games without a goal? Doesn't look like he's ever going to score a goal. There's nothing coming from anywhere else on the pitch. Our fullbacks don't look like they're going to score. Luca Dean, first couple of seasons, shooting from everywhere. Never see him shoot anymore. You know, so there's nothing in that team. I think, back to the Carlo thing.
Yeah, go on.
I think you're absolutely right. With where I slightly disagree is, I think a more attacking manager would have won more home games. But the caveat to that is he wouldn't have got the results away. I think you're right. We've got a lot of results away because of the tactical work that David have done, Ferguson, anyone else who's on, they've done on the away performances. And these players seem to... That's why I ask, is it an attitude problem? Well, because when we stepped onto the London Stadium last week against West Ham, we were flying. They were right on it. Villa the other night, they didn't play well, but the shape was perfect. They went to Arsenal. It wasn't a great game. They nicked it.
Well, someone asked them in the press conference, you know, the media press conference, not the ones on TV, and they said to him, you know, are you worried about the way your team bounces back from you know, they haven't been able to bounce back from defeats at home? And he said, well, yeah, but we do. We keep bouncing back away from home. We play a home game, we lose, we go away, and we show brilliant attitude, and we get a result. And then we come back here and we do it again. He said, so if you want to look at it like that, the team always bounces back with a good result. He said, but it's just when we come in, we can't.
Why do you think that is? We're stepping into Goodison. Why is it?
Honestly, Baz, because we've been figured out by every team. Sheffield United came yesterday, and what did they do? They did what a lot of teams do, is they start quickly. And that's what a lot of teams have done recently. Like, basically, we can get in front here. These aren't coming back from it. And that's what they did. And then they just went, right, let them have the ball. Let them have the ball, and they will blow themselves up, and which we did, because we haven't got a plan. We haven't got the players to do things off the cuff. You know, we just watched an FA Cup final with Tielemans picking up the ball, striding 3 yards and just smashing one. Nobody could do that for us. Not one player. We do not have one player that could do it. I watched Ben Godfrey in the second half yesterday pick it up, trying to do the same thing. It ended up.
But to be fair to him, he's a centre-back.
No, I know.
More offensive players should be doing it.
But that's it, isn't it? We don't have anyone who picks the ball up in that area who is offensive. You know, we had Sigurdsson on the pitch. We have James Rodriguez on the pitch. Not one of them picks the ball up and goes, right, I'm just going to rifle one here and see what happens. Not one of them. It's always, I get the ball and I go, even they're always, every play when they get the ball, just, how many times you watch our players pick up the ball, pick their head up and go, turn around, go, because they've got nobody. There's just, the team is laced with fear. It's full of players that just have got no spine about them at all. The two lads up front, like you just said, Dom's brilliant if you put the ball to him in a certain area, but he doesn't pull anyone apart. Richarlison doesn't know whether to go to feet or go what. To be fair, the manager, I think one of the biggest mistakes the manager's got is taking Richarlison out of left midfield, or certainly when he was in the 3 on a wide, because then at least he created space for himself and Dominic Calvert-Lewin
and Luca Dean.
Since he's sort of been put up front, he's become absolutely this secondary striker where no one's quite sure where he plays. He's become just an absolute nothing on the pitch. They don't work together.
He was our talisman for 2 years, and now he's nothing.
And I'm not sitting here going, you know, he's terrible and this and that. We've said
he's had a terrible season.
He's had a terrible season, and sometimes people do have terrible seasons. They can't sort of shake off or because once the season starts going. But he's been garbage. He's been garbage this season. Really has. I've given the benefit of the doubt loads of times, but the cold hard light, I think, he's been terrible. And there's been too many players like that. Too many players who have ups and downs ups and downs. You know, it's all over the pitch. Seamus Coleman, you know, Michael Keane, Mason Holgate, Mina, because he's not in the team. James Rodriguez, not in the team, out the team, comes in the team, takes him 2 games to get back going again. You know, it's Alan's been out the team, Decore's been out the team. We need, and I know you go, oh yeah, they've been injured, fine, but we can't afford. You know, Ben Godfrey, yes, the goal is on him and Alan, as far as I'm going. The goal, but let's be honest, nearly every week he has been a consistent performer.
Let's just have a look at the goal. Let's have a look at the goal, because it is Ben Godfrey. It's on Ben Godfrey 100% for me. We lose it too easy in the corner. Holgate gets turned. He goes beyond Coleman. He goes by Alan like he's not there.
Alan there to me. Something I've criticised him for in the last couple of weeks is he goes to ground far too easy. He doesn't just stand up and jockey. And there, the lad, that pitch is actually deceiving, because there's a moment before that with Alan's right next to him. And all he has to do is get goal side and say, well, beat me.
He stands side on, so he allows him
to go past him. And it's that thing of like, I want to tackle him, but I can't. So what else am I going to do?
You just block him off. But in the pitch, he's gone by Alan. Yeah. And we've seen, we're okay here. We're okay. Godfrey's marking. Jefferson there.
That's good.
Luca Dean should be looking at McGoldrick.
Yeah.
Right? Player on that next one. So the next one, we're still okay. The lads advanced into the box. Don't still
quite know what Luca Dean's doing.
Luca Dean isn't, but he can't. There's no point in him going in. So he's keeping an eye maybe on here, because we're still behind. But he should be looking at McGoldrick and thinking, I might have to go and get involved in there. The lad goes on. Ben Godfrey's still in a good position. Jefferson's on his shoulder, and then the next one, Ben Godfrey walks forward for some reason. The kid doesn't do anything. He just follows the ball, and he's got a tap in. Luca Dean's not doing either. He hasn't gone to cover McGoldrick, and he hasn't covered Ben Godfrey.
I mean,
to go back one, Ned, sorry. If you just go back one till the ball's come across.
He's obviously got attracted into the lad on the edge of the box.
So
but I don't know why, because if the first rule of defending is just look after the person you mark.
Exactly.
Now we might think, right, Luca Dean's got this, but you can't think like that, I don't think, as a defender. No. I think you have to, if that ball gets cut back there, then all Ben Godfrey can do is actually go out to it.
Yeah.
Or hope Luca Dean goes out to it and get a block in, and hope your goalie does something from there, which he probably would have. He's
trying to second guess what's happening instead of marking the man. Just go back again, Ned. And obviously, when he second guesses it and leaves Jefferson, the kid's got a tap in. Yeah. And you're 1-0 down inside 6 or 7 minutes. And we've seen this actually. The second time we've seen Godfrey do this, Josh Mathew done it to him in the Fulham game. He was marking him and it was okay, and he just pulled off him. He tried to step in for the ball, and it was laid across. And it was a goal. And we're 1-0 down after 7 minutes in a game that we have to win. And you just think, here we go again. You know, if the crowd were there, there'd have been the roar, there'd have been the, having a go and not allowing people. But I think, and it is an excuse, so it shouldn't really be, it can't let people off. But because of the playing in these empty stadiums, it's just a game of footy. So you go one down, it's just like there's no jeopardy. It's like, oh well, we've gone behind here, let's just see what happens. When you said it, we're not good enough to do that. We're not a footballing team but also, that can knock the ball around.
Also, we haven't got any kind of head of steam.
No.
We haven't got any kind of going for us. We're almost like, we're starting from that position every game where it's like, got to pick yourself up from the last performance, whether you won, draw or lost. There's no good performances. There's no, you're bringing the baggage of your home form. You sort of can't play like you do away from home, because the emphasis is on you to go and win the game. And everyone smells the blood in the water. Let's be honest, everyone does. It's not hard to figure us out. You get a goal up against us, and you just frustrate us then, and that's all he did. We huffed and puffed from then on. We should have had a penalty. Let's be honest. We should have had a penalty. It's his arm. I don't care. If you've got your arm there while someone's crossing, it's in an unnatural position. Don't care what anyone says. It's a handball. It's a penalty. It's a stonewall penalty, not given. 2 VARs in a row. 3 if you include the handball, if it was handball against West Ham. that's 3 in 3 games, which
I've gone against.
I fully, when I don't know why I thought, but when he went for the corner, I was like, they'll call us in now.
It back
and I couldn't believe it. They didn't even check it. Like, they didn't even give the referee a chance to check it, which just blows my mind that they don't do that. It was a nailed-on penalty for me, and that would have been the little bit of maybe good luck that fortune that we needed. No, but then we've gone on and missed absolute sitters after that.
Keeper made a fantastic save, Malin. A really good save outside of the foot. He's had to tip it wide. And then obviously...
keeper has been absolutely garbage all season, by the way.
Had a good season, really. And he makes a brilliant save from the Charlison's header, because it is. But let's put the Dominic Calvert-Lewin chance on, because this is where the keepers say it's a really good ball in by James, to be honest, and the Charlison makes a good run, heads it down. Keeper gets there brilliantly. And then the ball breaks to Dom. And they're the 2 places to put it. The keeper's on the floor and he's throwing his foot back. And he hits it. Like, he hits it with the inside of his foot without opening his body up. So if you're doing that, you go near post and smash it then, where he hasn't got a chance. And he hits it like it's almost a training game, like it doesn't matter. I couldn't believe when he hit it, looking at his body shape. There was no thought process to it, yet the whole goal is gaping. If you look behind it, the next one is from behind the goal. Look where the keeper is. It's harder to hit the goalkeeper there than it is to put the ball in the back of the net. He's gone full Shevchenko 2005.
Would have been better kicking it against Richarlison.
Playing it off his head and in. But he's there, as it's dropped, that's 1-1. Keeper's on the floor, open your body up, the other corner, it's 1-1, and we go again.
I can't find any reason to give him any benefit of doubt.
And he hits it at the keeper's head.
He does, because he thinks the keeper's just going to sit on the floor for him, and he'll just put it above him. But it's that lack of... That's the thing which we've said all season about, Dom's...
It's unbelievable.
He's had a great season, been brilliant for us, but it is that absolute, the difference between the very best strikers and maybe...
Kane would have scored, wouldn't
he? Yeah, easily. Because he
and I'm not that... Listen, Dom's... We're where we are because of Dom.
Yeah, of course we are.
But the moments like that in games...
Kane would have done something cute there. Something cute. He backs us... See, Kane and strikers like Kane, they back their own ability. That's why they score so many brilliant goals. Because they back their ability. Yeah. They're the kind of strikers there that would have just hit it as hard as they could into the roof of the net.
And it'd be 1-1.
And it'd be 1-1. And because they back themselves, there's never that second of doubt in their mind. And... that was 2 great chances. Richarlison said it was a good head, it was a good save. The second one, it shouldn't have been a save. And, Hammers has another good chance after that, I think, as well. Again, gets on his left foot, waits just that second longer. And that's what was that was the frustrating part of the first half.
You were looking at the first half and going, all right, well, that was terrible, we're 1-0 down, but we've created 3 or 4 chances. Like, let's do it again second. We get it, because you'd have that thing in your mind. And you shouldn't really have it, but you'd have that thing of like, the time's gone now and we can't equalise. And yet, there's 45 minutes to go. You get a goal within the first 15 minutes, you've got half an hour to win it. And that old cliche takes a second to score a goal and all that. We've seen Villa do it the other week to Fulham, 1 down with 10 minutes left, 1-3-1, things like that. You can score these goals.
No, the most frustrating...
I was going to say, we come out in the bit.
Well, we brought Sigurdsson on. Brought Sigurdsson on for Hallgate, went more into it. For the back, and I just thought that it did nothing. It didn't do anything for us.
He created a couple of half chances, Gylfi, but
it just didn't. But it didn't.
But you said before, though, and you're right. You're looking at that. You're looking at the squad, and I know we said it ourselves. That the answers aren't in Finch Farm, but you're looking at that bench. Right, he could have put Tom Davies on. We would have maybe rattled them a little bit and got a bit of a reaction, but creativity wise,
create anything, is it?
Dean done nothing really.
No, I thought he was poor.
Bad tackle on him as well, by the way.
Yeah.
In the first half, but he done really nothing. Seamus Coleman was, and he's had some really good games. Seamus, but he was
same as he was on Wednesday.
Poor because he's hesitant. Every cross is hesitant. He
had one early on, and it was actually a really good move. There was a lot of passes, and he got it wide, and I think they blocked it. But even then, when he got the ball, we'd moved them around brilliantly. We'd moved it. It was probably about 20 passes. And it gets to him, and it's like, just put it into a dangerous area, and it's not. It's just
he hung one up for Dom in the first half. I don't know, it was Luca Dean, like clipped it, and he's like, he's got to put the power on the head, and it's like, you're not going to score from there.
So the problem with me, for one thing I just don't understand as well, though, is like, I'd say, like, maybe 60 minutes, 65 minutes, I'd go, right, not for the next 10 minutes, let's just go long. Let's just get Dom, get Sigurdsson, Richarlison, James, in and around Dom, and let's go long, and let's see how we do. And just for 10 minutes.
It doesn't matter.
Just change it round.
You can't pass the foot. I said this, I honestly said this yesterday, I was saying, it's not like we passed the ball around brilliantly, we haven't got the play, so miss the midfield out, and we've got one of the best headers of the ball in the Premier League, if not the best. His leap's incredible. Go long, knock it long, and let him, and say to the others, get off him, run off him. When he's knocking it down or flicking it on, one run behind him, two of you pick the bits up. Because all they'll have to do then is try and head it away, you can get it then.
But we did it a couple of times, and then you give up on it, and it's like, let's start passing it. And it's like, and people are like, oh yeah, they'll deal with it all day. Well, they were dealing with everything else, because it's all pass, come out, go back, come out, go back, and it was like that all game. It's not slow. And then it's we can't find anyone to pass to, so we go back to the halfway line, and it's like, how can you not open up a team like Sheffield United? How can you not get round the back of a team like Sheffield United? You know, a team that get beat nearly every single week.
You can't, because there's no mobility and no movement, and that isn't in the squad.
Well, that's the major problem.
We brought Bernard on. I don't know why. And then Andre Gomes, which was the biggest one for me. It should have been a Wobie, and I've kind of gone past the Wobie being anything for Everton, but at least the lad is he's sort of an attacking-minded player. We're 1-0 down. Where was the caution to win the game? You may as well lose 3-0 trying to get the goal back. And we just, I can't for the life of me understand, with 15 minutes left, 10 minutes left, why our centre-backs are playing 1-2s with each other without going anywhere and knocking it round and having a look and turning and going, oh, nothing on here, we'll knock it back. Our goalkeeper's playing more progressive passes than any of our players. Felt sorry for Pickford, didn't put a foot wrong, ends up on the losing side. And he's looking at them, he's screaming, trying to get us going, and we're arsing about with him. Michael Keane, just, come day, go day in the middle, just get a turn out, slow pass it. Seamus Coleman only wants to pass the ball back. The amount of times, Luca Dean does it now. You run into their half and then go, oh, nothing, and turn, and it goes all the way, but as if we'll start again.
Terrified.
There's no movement.
No progressive movement at all. They're terrified, but there is no movement ahead of them, because there's no one who's got any kind of pace to open anyone up. There's nobody who when someone picks it up, there's no one who makes a run. You never see that, out to in run from anyone. Early on the season when Hammers was getting the ball up and then you'd see Dean get down the wing and he pop it into him. Now that happens, but then the player who's got the ball, whether it be Hammers or someone else, they dither on the ball. They wait for that extra second for some reason now. Whereas in the first few weeks of the season, it all felt really natural and off the cuff, and it was working every game. And now it's like every time someone gets the ball, they stop and they wait and they look, because there is no movement around them. Dom's movement's pretty poor, Richarlison's movement's poor, like I was saying before, and there's no one who's got that pace. No one, like Decore's not on his bike. There's no one breaking from midfield. It's like all the reject toys basically play for Everton. There's nothing is merged. There's no meshing of players at all or ideas. Everything is just. I'll go back to December. I remember saying we're a team of individuals that you're waiting for one of them to do something, and it's
can't be that though.
It can't be. It's got to be. Well, this is the thing, isn't it? And this is why I think Carlo Ancelotti gets so much. Has been starting to get a lot of stickers. People expect by now to see a manager of his pedigree to have created something. Now, I give him the benefit of doubt in the idea that I think he has done that away. And I think he's been very, very honest and open about that. He's said loads of times, we're not a possession team. We are a team that defends in a shape and then try to play on a counter-attack. And it's worked away from home. Should he have done more? Yes, he should have. But I still don't think he's got the players. And this now comes down to another summer of heavy recruitment, and I don't know if we can do it. And I don't see this team moving within itself, it's not going to go anywhere. It really isn't. You're relying on factors that are, like you just said there, being massively efficient. Massively efficient. You know, Dom scoring one goal off 2 chances a game. Yeah. It can't happen. Continue. And that's why we do struggle for the goal scoring is abysmal. I was looking yesterday before the game. It's like, if we'd won the game, yes, we would have been on the same points as Spurs, but they would have had like 18 more goals than us or something like that.
Yeah, we don't score. We're +3. Everyone else is double digits. Yeah. Leeds are like us, but other than that, everybody else is Villa, miles ahead of us, and Arsenal. You know, Arsenal have been dreadful. I mean dreadful, like proper Tony Pulis football all season. Still got about +15, 17, whatever it is. And there's no goals in the team. No. You know, there's none. And that comes down to recruitment. And we've got a director of football that's been here for 3 years and there's no goals in the team. So he's got to be looked at. But the big summer. Yeah. There's a big summer.
Well, you've got to buy goals. I remember Tony Grant saying this last summer, funny enough. And he said, you know, I think about the signings, he said, but you know what, where's the goals? You've got, like, you know, it's dead simple, isn't it? It goes back to that Moneyball thing, isn't it? It's like, I always love using that as an example, but in that, it's like you're buying runs. You know, you get as many, you know, if you score, I think Moyes used to do this as well. He said, if you score a certain amount of goals in a season, then that should equate to a certain amount of points, and that point should, obviously, you know, within an area. So you are literally, when you're bringing players in, you're not, I suppose the idea is, sometimes when you buy players, you look at someone like James Rodriguez and you go, right, his creativity will mean more goals for Dominic Calvert-Lewin or more goals for Richarlison. But how many more goals can you squeeze out of those players? That one player. We've done this with Romelu Lukaku. He got 25 goals and we still finished 12th.
Didn't do anything.
Or 11th. Because it's, yes, you're squeezing more goals out of that one person, but you need to bring in goals. You need to buy goals. You need to bring goals when you bring people in. And that's surely got to be an objective now, just on that absolute basic
The other thing is, the other thing is, you shouldn't have the money Everton have spent, and I know, listen,
no, but you're right, you're absolutely right.
The money Everton have spent, we shouldn't have a situation in a Premier League game where we haven't got a centre forward on the bench. We had no attackers yesterday. No. But Roby scored, what's he got, 1 goal this season?
1 goal, yeah, once Wolves.
And 1 in the cup.
Wolves away.
So 1 goal. Yeah. Last year he got 1 goal. We spent 35 million on. You know,
and you knew that bringing him in.
Yeah.
You knew the goals bringing him
Bernard doesn't really score goals. No. Gomez 1 goal in 3 years.
Yeah, against Wolves.
You know, Decore, yeah, he will. Against Wolves. Yeah. Decore, he will if you free him up, but we don't free him up. Yeah. Alan doesn't score goals, so you know that. James has done all right, 6 goals, 4 assists in the Premier League. Okay, that's all right. But then after, there's nothing anywhere
Sigurdsson,
else. Gylfi,
5 or 6,
but it's diminishing returns.
No, I'm just saying.
No, you're right. Yeah.
I'm just saying that. Yeah. You got to, you know, Seamus Coleman, none. Luca Dean, none. You know, 3 or 4 between your centre backs.
There's nothing.
There's no goals in the team.
When they're looking now,
third choice striker, well, none.
That's what I mean. There's none. So you're looking now. Everton should have been able to look at that bench yesterday and gone, there's a centre forward who scores goals on the bench, we can bring him. There's a winger who's fast, he'll change this game. But there's not. You're looking at, they're all the same player. The wingers, or the wide players, or the creativity that we have on the bench turn back on themselves all the time. Bernard or Iwobi always do it. They run, turn and come back. So they're no direct running, so they're the same. Delph. What is Delph? Tom Davies is a 6. Gomez, nothing. You know, Gylfi, yeah. Gylfi's probably the least of the worries out the subs, because every now and again he does weigh in with something, but that's it. But again, it's diminishing returns now. 31. His goals are getting less and less. 4 last season, he might have got 5 this year with 2 pens. This summer, you've got to go, and it's hard. Of course it's hard, but you just hit the nail on the head. They have the money ball. People say to me, yeah, but what if we can't get those players? I'm like, there's a lot of footballers in this world. There's a lot of players. If you look at the data and not the name, you can get goals out of people. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, 21 goals. Brilliant. Can you sit here and say he'll get 21 next season? No, but I can tell you he'll probably get 15 at least. Yeah. Right? And he might get 20. He may, if you create enough chances for him, he will do. But relying on 1 chance a game and having to take that, or 2 chances and knowing you have to take it.
Well, He only got one chance in this game.
I'm just sitting.
No, I know, but
it was
that's
the only real opportunity he had in the game. One, and he didn't take it. Well, all right. But then if you say to Harry Kane, we're only creating one chance for you a game, will Harry Kane get 20 goals? No, I mean, he'd probably get 15 because he's brilliant. But all of these players, Mo Salah misses about 4 a game for Liverpool, but he still ends up with 20 goals a season because they create that many chances for him. Or there's options. Yeah. We ain't got any of that. He should have been able to sit there yesterday with the recruitment with the money we've had and go, I've got 3 or 4 change. I can make 3 or 4 change. Can't make 4. I've got 3 or 4 options here that can change this game. We didn't have anybody. You're looking at the bench going, well, bring him on. We'll do that. Well, they had a 17-year-old kid up front yesterday who was physically looked like he could play in the Premier League. He was quite lively. He was strong. He ends up getting the winner. Where was Everton's 17-year-old kid who physically could play in the Premier League on the bench? Nowhere. Nowhere, because what are we doing lower down the chain? Are we out looking for physical specimens like that and going, he'll be good. The kid we had come from Sheffield United.
I know. Do you know that we had that kid on trial 2 years ago?
Did we? There you go. See, we had a kid on trial who's worth 130 million and we let him go out the building.
No.
So there you go. I mean, that says it all, really, doesn't it? But that's now. I said it last night. You have to have never watched a game of football in your life to get the recruitment wrong this season. Yeah. It's impossible to get it wrong. Honestly, it's impossible to get it wrong. Well, listen, if he doesn't get it right this summer, then
no.
3-year contract, I'll be
everyone
chasing
should go. No,
because
should go.
It's power,
the people
it's
who give them the 3-year contract,
and it's mobility. Go. And as a fourth, it's goals. And Everton need a centre forward to come in. They need a winger, if not 2, who are quick and direct and get goals. They need a mobile centre mid. None of this. We'll wait and see what Gabaman does. No, we won't, mate.
No.
What we'll do is we'll get another one in, and then Gabaman can force his way in if he can ever stay fit. And they need a right back that can fly up, and that's just for starters. But if Everton did do that, then they could transform the team, because there is players I think you'll get more out of with mobility. Like, I think if James had players who could run, I think he'd look much. He's brilliant anyway, but he would look better again. I think if you had a real threat to Richarlison, you'd squeeze more out of him. The crowd will do that anyway. It's not an excuse for him. The crowd will do that anyway. He lives on that. But
we could get 4 in who had power, pace, and goals. And of course, it'll change this. It's a quarter. It's more than a quarter of your team.
Because then your subs, who were your first team, has now become actual decent subs.
We've said this for a while,
but that's it.
It's got to be action. It's got to be done, hasn't it? There's got to be action. It's got to be done. I mean, been training for 3 months. You know, I know some people bemoan the fact that we didn't do more in January. You know, but that's, it could be right. That's a flip of a coin sometimes, you know what I mean?
No, it is. You want your recruitment done in the summer, because you want your team kind of settled for the season, and then if one comes up in January that you think is too good an opportunity to miss, you take it. But you don't want to rely on January.
No, it's just frustrating.
What were the stats?
It's not even more. It's more than frustrating.
What were the stats for the games? Have a look at the stats. 16 attempts at goal, 10, 6 on target, 3, 2 big chances, 2 each, 62% of the ball, 635 passes for Everton.
Most of them
were backward. And the thing about it was, that second half, there was no flurry. No. There was no... They got blocks in and stuff, but there was nothing really where you thought, we'll score here. There was never. They defended brilliantly. And that was what annoyed me more. There was a real difference in the quality of technical ability on show, and yet there was a real difference in the heart and the determination of a team who were relegated.
5 weeks ago.
Relegated. They've got a caretaker manager, and yet they all showed more for that shirt than what ours did. And that hurts, watching it. 9 home defeats hurts. It does, because, like I said to you, it's one thing going, well, we've lost 4 or 5, but every now and again you'd break that up with a win. We just turn up. I said last week, we've done the West Ham preview, I said to you, I'm more confident beating West Ham away than I am Sheffield United at home. And it worked out exactly that way. Because we are what we are. And yet these players don't seem to be able to cross that white line. And I'll say this today, I am fully confident we will beat Wolves on Wednesday because A, it doesn't matter, and B, there'll be crowd there, so they'll have to run. Yeah. And we will beat Wolves at home on Wednesday, but you know what? Not good enough because they blew every other opportunity they've had. And so for me, it's huge changes needed again, and it's got to be the right profile. It's got to be the right age. It's got to be people that can run and tackle and have got a bit about them and can put the ball in the net. And if we get that, then we can start looking forward. And I will start saying, you know what, Brands and Ancelotti are on the right path together because we've done this and we've moved the team on. But if we go and buy slow players again without any real goal record or just their name, Aaron Ramsey and Coutinho, and it'll just be like, no, mate, we're just going to be the same again next summer. Sat here going, what we need is, and we can't always need to bring 5 players.
A kid playing Football Manager could do that.
Of course they could.
Anyone could do that. That's not what you pay a director of football for. That's not what you pay a group of scouts to do. Go and find some fella who
everybody knows about,
who's been offered half round. That's not scouting. No. That's not scouting. That's I could do that. And I don't watch any footy because I think footy's crap. Certainly this season, I've just completely, it's gone to me this season. But I could do that. Yeah. I that's the most basic fundamental thing is going, yeah, he was good. I remember him when he played. That's dead easy to do that. Dead easy.
You've just seen a team in the FA Cup at the weekend, albeit a bit fortunate, but they won it by being Sell on FC. Yeah. And they've got hungry players, but
brave.
Brave
in its recruitment.
They just got Samari for another one from Lille. They're going to come in and be excellent because they buy the right players, the right profile, and they trust the process. We ain't got a process. Or if we have, it's taken it too long. And this is what I'm saying. We might have now, and I'd like to think we are in the wheels are turning for that. But the evidence will be this summer. Yeah. And if we end up at the end of the summer with players like that who have just named an Aaron Ramsey, it'll just be like, we might get a little bit of a kick off them for a few months, but come February, March, it'll be the same. And we'll be sat here next year going, can't get him out though because he's got 2 years left on the deal. Can't get him out because he's this. And we'll be going, if only we'd have bought him, and if only Sangari we could have had for £8 million last year. Waltz around our midfield, absolutely waltz, and yet we missed it. There's Terry Moffey at the moment at Lorient, 21, who's worth a gamble as a centre forward coming through. Will Everton touch him? Probably not.
And then there is actually more people who are more obvious, like the Baileys of the world.
Of course, Leon Bailey's ready now, who might come for 2 years and then make you 30 million because someone else takes him because he's brilliant. And then you reinvest that. There's Moussa Diaby, who we were linked with over the weekend, and hope and pray, me and Andy talked about him, hope and pray that he is on our, because he can catch, he's a flyer, and he scores goals, and he creates goals, and he's 21, and he's the exact kind of profile.
Don't do this to me.
No, but I'm saying
this to me.
No, but you're
right. Because I sat here last year doing all this stuff with Andy while you were on holiday, and he's telling me about all these players that we should be all over, and
none of them do.
None of them. We don't even get a sniff of them, and then we get linked with 30-year-old centre backs from Napoli, who are amazing if you buy them a Football Manager, but like you just said, you're burdened with them for 2 or 3 years then on high wages when it's completely the wrong thing to do. Completely the wrong thing to do.
What you'd have to say is, if you're trying to be philosophical about it, and it's very difficult when you're fuming like we are, and we're disappointed, but we're not surprised as well. We've got all of those emotions going through us, and we come in here and people are moonwalking because the goalkeeper scored in the 95th minute. But what you have to kind of say though is, last summer they kind of got it right. We've improved,
I agree.
And so that's the one thing, probably the only thing now keeping me.
No, you're right.
Can we get it right this summer now?
We sat here in the summer and we looked at the signings we brought in, and we were happy with the signings we brought in. We wanted a bit of experience. We got the experience. Hasn't quite worked out because of the injury situation.
The Corey's been great though.
And Alan's had his moments, and James Rodriguez has had his moments. But they're not a team.
But the next 4 need to be hungry, mobile,
to make those players even better, to make it all work, and there has to be going in from that. If it's supposed to work the way it's supposed to work, and we're supposed to have the best director of football and the best, his you know, that his right-hand man's supposed to be the best one, and a scouting network and all that. Well, the proof will be in the pudding, because you just go buy the players. You wouldn't arse around with them.
No.
You know, you don't go, well, yeah, we have, but actually what we're going to do is going to go and get Aaron Ramsey, because, you know, he's on a free, and he was once good.
Played, yeah. And he's 30, which is all right. He's got a couple of years left.
Yeah. We'll see anyway. We'll see.
What, who've we got on the numbers? What player? No players, because there was no point.
Ned, you've done the right thing.
You have, Ned,
you've done the right thing. It's not about the players today. It's not about the players today. It's about just being angry at the world for everything. Honestly, right, let's just look at this 12 games with more possession. 4 wins, 2 draws, 6 defeats. 14 points out of 36 with more possession. 14 points out of 56 played for. 42 points out of 56 won
with less
or same possession. I've always said 38 points is the sweet spot for me.
We are
terrible in possession. Everton, the number one tactic of playing Everton is give Everton the ball. That's because we are terrible, and that's all you can say. And that's got to be the biggest indictment of any football team is if you let them have the ball, you win the game. How on earth?
But Leicester won a league like that.
But they were clever enough to not keep the ball.
No, well, what I was going to say was, but the caveat to that was, yeah, we don't want the ball. You can have it, but when we get it, we're banging it long, and Vardy's in
the back. Oh, jeez, watch Vardy on Saturday. He's amazing again.
He is definitely he's on the wane, but goal-wise, but he's a nuisance. He's an absolute pest, isn't he?
When you watch him, and you see how hard he works and what it means, and you look at ours and you just go, does it mean anything to you? Because this fella is running around and 34. Centre backs are throwing him on the ground. He's getting up laughing because he's just bought his team another couple of minutes.
Yeah. But why? Because he had to work his way up the league, and he knows exactly he wasn't given everything. Which again, another terrible indictment of academy football.
And he's a player we should have bought 5 years ago.
Yeah, Walsh had him. Could have
bought him 5 years ago.
Wanted to come with Walsh and me.
Right, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
The final word is, what a load of shite.
What a rubbish game. Another home defeat. But fair play
to
Sheffield United.
I bet you're looking forward to getting back to Goodison, aren't you?
Can't wait.
The young fella been practising.
Boo. The young fella, if it wasn't for the young fella, I wouldn't be stepping anywhere near the place.
There you go. Let us know your thoughts in the comments on this. Who's to blame and what needs to happen next? Let us know your thoughts. Make sure you give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already. If you want more great videos, live daily videos like this is live right now on Patreon. Join us on Patreon. The link is in the description and it'll be on the screen. We're going to do a little bit more with our patrons now. Thanks for watching. See you later.